Hello there, and thank you for joining me for Clarity Cohort number 2. This is a collection of cohorts on the subject of clarity, giving you opportunities to feel what it's like to enhance your personal growth, your professional presence, and do it within the support of a group. Each of these sessions focus on different areas of growth and you learn practical activities that help you apply everything you've learned along the way. So, whether you're looking to manage emotional triggers, you're wanting to build up that resilience when things, just don't go your way, or you are ready to create a plan for enduring contentment, this collection is for you because it's going to help you put things together, sort of finalize that structure that you've been looking for so that you can achieve your goals. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen so that we can utilize the slides for the Clarity cohort. So let me get the slides ready to go, and then we'll be on our way. As we are setting things up here, I would love to know how you're doing. How's your week been? How things are going? Since last time when we finished up with Clarity Cohort 1, there were a few things that you said you wanted to work on. And so I'd like to hear about it. What happened? How did it work? So feel free, send me a message, type it in the comments if you want to. If you're watching this on the replay, feel free to reach out to me and kind of share your insights that you gained from the very first cohort that we had last week. All right. We talked last week about managing triggers. This week, it's on building resilience and tapping into that inner strength. So I am definitely ready to share some insights with you when it comes to tapping into your inner strength. I hope you're ready because I am. So let's think about this, the essence of inner strength. And we talk about it. What is it? That inner strength is really the capacity that each of us have to face challenges with courage and resolve. So instead of just managing through hardships, through times that are stressful, times of uncertainty, we have our systems in place so that we can thrive and we can use these challenges as catalyst for growth and empowerment. And I love this quote. It says, "It's not about the load that breaks you down, it's how you carry it." So let's talk about this event and see where you fit in. This event is for you if you are constantly busy and you still feel like something's missing or you're not able to get everything done. Like there's a deeper sense of fulfillment and joy that you're looking for. Is that you? Because if it is, this event is perfect for you. And how about those times when you feel very overwhelmed by stress? It could be happening right now. And if you just want some simple, practical tools to manage it in your daily life, then you are in for a treat because that's what this cohort is all about. And for those of us who go through spells where we're just feeling super tired and like we're on that never ending hamster wheel, constantly spinning our tires, chasing goals without really finding that true peace and the excitement and the passion that you had early on has just sort of disappeared. If that's the way you're feeling right now, then this is for you because we're here to help you find that true peace that lives within you. And I know what it feels like. For years, I was the kind of person who thought that busy was a sign of productivity. Staying busy, it was my badge of honor. But it was really a way of avoiding the deeper issues because I was just busy doing what all the other educators were doing and just putting my whole heart into it. I was working overtime. I was pursuing my master's degree. I was going through a divorce. Then my son got incarcerated, and all of these just added those layers of stress that really kept me driven, trying to stay busy and distracted as much as I could. And eventually, that constant juggle really led to some debilitating health issues. I had chronic migraines, clinical depression, and I was forced to stop and figure out, okay, if I'm going to get back in the land of the living, how am I going to do it? And that's where my quest for clarity started. Right on my deathbed, basically, I felt like. So, reflecting on my journey, let's see what it looked like for me. And I want you to do the same. Take a moment, think about it. What has led you to the points where you've decided to just step back? You need some clarity. You might not be to the point of physical exhaustion like I was, but what is it? Why is it that you've chosen to participate with us in these clarity cohorts? Here's some guiding questions for you. The first one really is, what challenges have you faced that made you question your path, recently? Or maybe it's been these never ending, it feels like things going around in your head that's leaving you with a great big question mark. And how has busyness or overcommitment impacted your well-being? Think about that. I know how it did mine. I mentioned it, medically for 3 months because I just depleted myself down to nothing. Here's another question for you to ponder. What are the deeper issues you may have been avoiding through staying busy and procrastinating? Wow, that can get quite personal. And for myself, we're talking about going through a divorce, about, my children having some real significant issues with the legal system. A lot of these things were just weighing heavy on me. And I was trying to run from it, really, trying to jump ship, but you can't jump ship. You have to stick with it. And then let's think about how have some of these experiences that are coming to mind right now shaped your desire for clarity and change. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to stop the recording right now and look at these guiding questions again and spend some time writing down your answers. Just do a brain dump, spill it all out, and spend a good amount of time just thinking, just reflecting, so that you have a space to start. So you can figure out where you want to begin on this path to clarity, to peace, and to contentment. So when we take time to acknowledge what's happened, what's led us to where we are at this moment, and figure out what it's going to take for us to find that clarity and that direction that we're looking for, that's when your journey begins anew. And each one of us has a very unique journey that we're on. Not everyone is facing the same issues. However, we all are in a space where purposeful shift can make a big difference. And this Clarity Cohort Collection is designed to help you shift from that cycle of busyness or procrastination or disillusionment to a continuous practice of purpose that is going to transform those fleeting moments of clarity into lasting moments of clarity. I like to call it a movement. So instead of having those fleeting moments, we want to shift into a state of momentum, so that this is a movement in our life, not just a moment. We talked about that in cohort one when we talked about identifying our triggers, addressing challenges and triggers, those things that fuel that journey for growth, things that empower you to adapt and to persevere and flourish. Those triggers are really all a part of this ongoing movement toward resilience because it's those bumps in the road that give you your character and help you to define what it is that you truly value and the things that you can let go in order to live with more contentment in your life. Today's session, we're going to be talking about transforming your daily rhythm. So, if you were in a space right now, if you are, where you are still in this bubble of confusion or stress or this big, massive human hamster wheel, we want to transform what's happening in your day to create space that supports your inner peace and that intentional living that is going to bring you clarity along your path in this world, in this life that you are living, and the things that you are called to do, and the people that you are called to help, whether it's family, whether it's in a professional standpoint. We want a shift that aligns your actions with what truly matters. So your rhythm is going to look much different. Chances are you'll be doing a lot of the very same things you're already doing now as far as actions go, but it's how you utilize those actions and the rhythm that they take that's going to determine what it's like for you to be able to get on a path where contentment is first and foremost. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And then next week, we'll be talking about how to implement these techniques for the long haul. It'll be like an action plan for your daily life, and it's going to walk you right through how to set up some intentional steps so that your lifestyle brings clarity, not just as a fleeting moment, but as a continuous movement toward intentional living. And that's what this is all about. So I want you to think about it. As we continue today, we're going to challenge your expectations. So look at that list here on there. It says challenge your expectations. We can do this, and it's the only way that we're going to be able to bring lasting clarity and is by helping us really uncover the hidden beliefs that are driving all of these busy habits that we have, habits of procrastination, perfectionism, poor time management, recurring disillusionment, always thinking that things should be different. I wish it was different. This should have happened. If only I had done this. We're going to challenge those expectations and those hidden beliefs so that we can move forward with contentment and direction. So I hope you're ready to go. We are going to get started. So make sure you got your pen and paper handy. And if not, stop the video right now. Get that notebook. All right, I want to start first with a mindfulness practice. Before we get anything else going, I'm going to set a mindfulness practice up here, and we are going to just take a couple of minutes to be calm and focused and centered around this concept of self-compassion and self-empathy. So here you go. All right. I hope you were able to take just a couple of minutes to do that deep breathing exercise with us. And that compassion exercise is in the portal, so you have access to it anytime you feel like you just need to touch base with that inner compassion and you're ready to let go of some of the things that are going on around you. It's just non-committal, it is an opportunity to just be and not be listening to anyone's commands or demands or questions or frustrations. You just spend a little time with yourself on that respect. So, we are going to go ahead and share our screen again. And we're going to get started with the next activities for our cohort. So, let me escape from this, see if it'll let me get rid of it. Okay, let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we're back here with the slide deck. Thank you for your patience on that. So let's talk about building resilience and inner strength. And we know that word resilience, and people say kids are so resilient and you've learned to be resilient. And, something that has really come to mind to me over these last few years when I have been delving deep into things that have left me feeling overwhelmed and like I don't have any direction or I'm disillusioned, is that inner strength, learning to tap into my own inner strength and whatever that looks like for me and using my strengths to effectively practice some stress management. That's something that I didn't have to worry about early on in my career. I had a lot of things going that were, going with the flow, but when things started to pile up and things started happening that, really kind of burst my bubble, in my career as well as in my personal life, I really didn't have the tools I needed from within, or I hadn't tapped into them, let's say. I wasn't tuned into it. And so that's what these cohorts are about, are helping you to build that inner strength and resilience and having those tools at the ready so that you can bounce back when things just get way out of control. So let's talk some more about feeling overwhelmed, directionless, disillusioned. When you lack clarity in your life, it can really create significant challenges for us in managing conflicts, in managing unexpected issues, and those happen all the time in our life. And even the ability to manage all of the multiple responsibilities that we have without clarity and a true direction, we just end up feeling overwhelmed. And we feel like, which way is up? And it's by addressing some of these underlying factors that can help us gain that clarity. And then it's going to improve how we handle various aspects of our life that are less than ideal. And there's plenty of them. We don't live in a utopia. So let's talk about some of those underlying factors. Often these underlying factors are triggered or fueled by hidden beliefs, things that we say, things that we were taught, things that we just um, put into our psyche that are not really based on facts, these hidden beliefs, things that are maybe outdated or unrealistic expectations that we put on ourselves, or maybe people from outside of us, these external expectations are causing problems for us. And these self imposed limitations that we put on ourselves, or these misconceptions we have about our abilities that drive these habits to repeat themselves over and over, and then they set us back long term. So let's talk about some of these hidden beliefs. First, think about some of these assumptions that you may have. I'm going to give you a few examples, and then I'd like for you to think about that yourself, to stop the recording and write these down and just write whatever comes to mind. These assumptions can really shape our responses to challenges, and they can set us back big time. So, something like if I try hard enough, I can control this, I can make it work. How about perfectionism is the only acceptable outcome? There's no other choice. I must be constantly busy to be successful. Or the opposite, you might not say it out loud, but if you're not constantly busy, you're thinking you need to be doing something. That setbacks mean you're doing something wrong. Mm, that's a toughie. Or thinking that you should be able to handle this. You know, other people have it a lot worse than I do. Why can't I handle this? The truth of this is that we all deal and perceive our setbacks in different ways. So you are not going to look like someone else. Your beliefs are your beliefs, and these are things that can really deeply influence your ability to manage tasks, to handle all these responsibilities you have, and to figure out how to navigate personal and professional challenges. And I want you to think about it. Do you think there's certain beliefs that you have that are setting you back? If so, write a great big B on your journal page. B, it's beliefs that are setting me back. And then expectations. You know, we have all, I think, had experience with unrealistic expectations, things that are really impractical, and they've created a lot of pressure for us. And in my opinion, many of these create unnecessary pressure. And let's think about it. Expecting to perfectly balance your work and your personal life. This can stress you out because it doesn't always happen that way. You can find harmony, but sometimes even that harmony is disrupted. How about expecting immediate success? I know when I went from teaching in the classroom to being an administrator, I'll tell you, that shift in responsibilities set me back because I was so good at what I did in the classroom. When I became an administrator, oh, I just thought that I needed to be just as good. I didn't allow myself time to learn the processes before I started, getting all stressed out about it. Expecting yourself to manage all these responsibilities and challenges on your own. That is a big one for many people. Not wanting to reach out or feeling like you have no one that you can reach out to. We're going to talk about some of these in just a little bit. And how about expecting to have substantial savings or financial stability? You know, finances can really spur on a lot of pressure, and that can trickle down and impact us in many ways in our path to clarity and in how content we feel with life. So these things that happen, these unrealistic expectations, what do? They result in busyness, not necessarily productivity, but busyness, or chronic procrastination because you're afraid of not doing it right, or of taking on this new direction because, oh, I don't know if I can even handle it. And thinking about sometimes changing an area of your life in a big way so that you can deal with life a little bit more constructively, but yet you don't do it. You stay stuck because you just don't know what those expectations are and how you're going to be able to make the shift. So that's something that really causes us to be limited in what we do, and they're self created barriers. So it's things that hinder our ability to manage our life effectively, personally, professionally, maybe a combination of the two. And it can lead to a lot of overwhelming schedules and procrastination because we just talk, and we set limits. And think about it for yourself. Some of these that I'm going to read here, if you feel like that's resonating with you, that kind of hits the nail on the head, then write a big L on your notebook. If you can't finish it in one go round, there's no reason for even starting. So you're procrastinating because you want to get it all done at once. You don't want to spend some time and see it go in phases for the completion. So you don't even start. You're just overwhelmed from the very beginning. Or you feel like if you ask for help, people are going to think that you are incompetent. That was a big one for me. And another one, when something goes wrong, automatically feeling like it's entirely your fault. That's a misconception. And here's one. If I don't do it myself, it won't get done right. How many of you have said that one? And like I mentioned earlier on the last slide, thinking that we can't rely on anyone else, that it's all up to us. Think about these limiting thoughts and if any of these are impacting your progress. So we need to be able to break free from these limitations. So let's think about it. And this is another time where you can stop the video and start journaling, writing it down. Give yourself time to answer these three questions. What are some beliefs or habits that you feel are holding you back? Think about some of the things we've just talked about. And what are they? What are some of those that are holding you back? Like, I have to do everything myself because no one else will do it right. That's just an example. Think about which outdated expectations or misconceptions you notice in your daily life. So, thinking if it can't get done perfectly, it's not worth doing at all. That procrastination piece comes in. And how about how do these limitations affect your relationships, your work, your personal goals? And we don't often take time to stop and think about how what we're doing on the daily is impacting those people around us and our own personal goals. So you just get in a space where you avoid starting anything new because you don't feel like you have enough time or you don't have the energy or you don't have the skills or you can't make up your mind. So you just stay stuck. You're still spinning those wheels. So what it takes is some self-awareness to be able to start understanding your stressors and your triggers and how they impact you. And we as high achievers, we often face stress due to our own high expectations and tendency to want to get things done perfectly. So I want us to think about this and just recognize these patterns in ourselves that we've been talking about. So we're going to go from those patterns of weakness because it's a little heavy, isn't it? When you think about those things. And we're going to go do a little strength scavenger hunt. We have a solo version of this for you to utilize, and it's in the portal. And I'm just going to show you what it looks like. We're not going to walk through the whole thing, but I want to share it with you so that you can see the value and importance in this activity. When we did it in the Clarity Challenge that we did in my group a few weeks ago, people were amazed at some of the strengths that they didn't realize they had. And this got them thinking. So let's discover and celebrate some of our inner strengths right now. And I'll get you started. And then later on, when you have time, do the solo version so that you can really make yourself a long list of strengths. They're going to help you in this endeavor to seek that clarity, to find the direction you want to take, and to get moving. I enjoy, as a woman of faith, I really enjoy utilizing God's word when I am doing some of these deeper dives. And here's one that really speaks to me during this session. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. That just warms my heart. So, this is what a strength scavenger hunt is. It's exploring our inner strengths, and we can do it as a group or we do it individually. And I want to share this list of strengths with you. And your task is to think about a real life example of where you demonstrate each strength. And then you are welcome to share the examples in the comments. If you're watching this recording, you can send me an email, you can message me on Facebook. And then think about this. When a strength is presented, look at it, think about it. Does it represent you? Is it something you'd like to share with someone that you're in your environment? Be proud of those strengths. And then I'm going to encourage you to collect strengths as we go through here and as you're doing the individual solo version of this. Note down the strengths that are exciting to you and write a brief description so that you won't forget what it is. And then collect as many as you want. So let's just go through a few. Patience. It's the ability to stay calm and composed during challenging or delayed situations, like you're waiting for a promotion at work and you don't want to lose your motivation, but hey, something keeps coming up and you're not getting it. That's a real life example. What are some examples in your own life where you have demonstrated the ability to stay calm and composed when things were challenging or you had to wait for something? How about determination? That's the drive to keep going, even when you're facing obstacles or setbacks, like completing a project despite all of the things that have come up and kept you from getting it done. So, but you're not swayed, you are determined. Think of some examples in your own life. And I'm going to share one more with you before we go back to the slide deck. Here's one: resilience. Bouncing back from adversity or difficult experiences, like really being able to recover emotionally after a tough loss or a disappointment. And it's okay to be down and be sad or angry or frustrated, but being able to recover quickly is the key. And so I want you to think of some situations in your life where you have demonstrated this type of resilience. So let's go on back. And remember, there's a solo edition in the portal, the Courage Hub. So you have access to it for you to use and do this exercise on your own. All right. So now that we've talked about strengths, and you're going to spend a little bit of time doing that scavenger hunt so that you have a good list of strengths that you can work from. And you're going to learn to use your strengths as your advantage. So think about it this way. If you're a detailed oriented person, Then, in order for you to make progress and to get some clarity in your day-to-day life, you're going to want to create some structured plans. And this program is going to help you do that. If you're a problem solver and then you are able to tackle those stressors and you are very strategic in what you do. So if you are that way naturally in the workplace or when you're dealing with your kids or situations in the community, then utilize that problem solving ability for yourself. Get strategic and come up with some solutions so that you can move forward. And focus on setting some realistic goals. So, really, instead of aiming for perfection, set achievable goals. Start small, break them down into manageable steps, and then celebrate your progress as you go along. I know we talk about that a lot, and it's all over social media. You know, what small win did you have this week? Well, it's take it seriously. Think about it. It doesn't have to be some super spectacular, fun thing that happened or a big event that you completed or something. It can be some of those tiny steps that you have put into place to be able to manage your life a little bit better than you did yesterday. This is where that inner strength mapping comes into play. And I'm going to show you what it looks like to do a little bit of inner strength mapping. So we talked about the hindrances and the triggers and the hidden beliefs and false assumptions and things that can really set us back. We're wanting to focus on our strengths, celebrate a lot of those strengths, lead with our strengths. Then strength mapping is a good way to do it. You probably do it automatically from time to time, but I want you to consider doing it on a regular basis. I want you to consider doing it consistently, making it really a part of your daily life. So here it is. I'm going to put it up full screen. Let's go back here. We want you to tap into your inner strength, and that is going to look like what is it going to take for you to use that strength to overcome challenges. So here is a real simple way to deal with that. And so let me show you. uh, okay, the first thing is, oops, I must have tapped it. Here we go. Sorry. I want you to identify your challenge. First thing we talked about last week, we talked about triggers. So identify what are your triggers? What are your challenges? And let's be very specific on this as an example so that you can see firsthand how this can help you to move forward more quickly when things are just wearing you down. So write down a challenge right now that you're currently facing. It could be anything to do with work, to personal life. It could be an area where you just feel stuck or overwhelmed, or you're just bored. You know, think about it. And let's move on to step two. Once you've got that written down, then you're going to think about that inner strength, what it is. We've talked about several. And if you've done the inner strength scavenger hunt, then you probably have a nice list of strengths that you possess that can help you navigate whatever that challenge is that you just identified. So, what is it? Is it a skill you have? Maybe a personal trait? Or maybe it's a support system. You know, sometimes there's things that we go through that we have never tackled before. I mean, often we go through things we've never tackled before, and a support system can make a huge difference in how we move forward. And that's when the action planning comes in. Being able to reflect on the challenge, think about your strengths, and then How are these going to work together to help you move forward? So write it down. Think of a brief action plan on how you can use that strength that you just talked about to overcome the challenge that you brought up that you're facing in this exact moment. It's it's going to work. Write it down, take action. So you came up with a plan, and now how are you going to put that into place after you get off here? After this cohort's over? What's one concrete action that you can commit to right now? Write it down. And if you can, set a deadline for when you're going to do it, not so that you can put pressure on yourself, but so that you can encourage yourself and break that chain of procrastination. You're going to make it happen. And this is how your strength is more than just a thought, than just something you're grateful for. It becomes an invitation for you to take action and thrive regardless of what's going on around you. And that's what this cohort is all about. Building that resilience, tapping into that inner strength, and understanding what it's going to take for you to stay on that path to clarity, that path to peace. And another component that fits right in here is to practice self-compassion, because high achievers are sometimes really, really good at self-criticism because we can always do things better. We think that, okay, it was that was okay, but I could have done better. I want you to allow yourself to practice self-compassion by just acknowledging your efforts and giving yourself permission to be imperfect, to be gentle on yourself, to be okay with things not being exactly the way you thought they were going to be. Just shift, pivot a bit, and move forward. So, right now, just give yourself a gentle, incredibly warm hug as we get ready to move on to the next step. And we're talking right now about other stress reduction techniques that we can tap into. And I put two of my favorites right here on this screen. Aromatherapy is a big one for me. I enjoy that. And excuse me, I also like massage. Ooh, big time. Deep tissue massage is works for me. And so think about some things that really can incorporate mindfulness, exercise, good movement, relaxation, and put some of these into your routine too. You can't just be going pedal to the metal day in and day out. You really need to put some things in place so that you can stay grounded and manage your stress more effectively. It's a given. You just need to have a little bit more of a balance there between your drive, what sets you on fire, and taking care of yourself and setting those dreams aside for a little bit just to, nurture you and yourself. So we're talking about how we're going to bring this all together. And this will be the topic for next week's cohort. We're going to be putting in place those final steps that are going to put your path to peace and to make it very clear to you. And these are some of the actions that it's going to take to put it all together. In the beginning, we talked about those triggers, cohort one, leveraging your strengths and dealing with those hidden beliefs that have really kind of stirred the pot. when it comes to procrastination and disillusionment. And then mapping out how these self-care routines are going to become part of your daily method of operation, not just fleeting moments that you go to when you feel like you can't take it anymore, but really figuring out how you're going to integrate this true level of care on a regular basis, making it a priority for you. And so we're going to talk for just a couple minutes about crafting your purpose statement. Inner resilience, inner strength, these are all tied to living with purpose. It's a personal and it's introspective. So your purpose, what you want to do, no one else has the same purpose you do. So it's something that you are going to figure out for yourself. It's going to focus on what drives you at your very core, not what you do every day that keeps you busy, but what reflects your values and your strengths and the desired impact you want to have in life. And these are things that are going to shape your daily actions and your personal growth. You are wanting to find your purpose. I had a client that asked me, what if I don't feel like I have a purpose? I don't know what my purpose is. And that's not uncommon. You don't often think about it. And if you do, you'll think, how can I put it into words? And so this activity is in the cohort, and I want you to spend some time creating your own personal purpose statement. It's going to talk about core values, about the impact you want to make, about how you're going to align these actions and things that you do on the regular basis with what really, really lights you up. And then you're going to put it all together to make a purpose statement. It's going to be well worth your time. So make sure that you go into the portal and that you spend some time on this particular exercise. And then keep it handy because we are going to use this exercise in the next cohort when we work on our commitment contract. So think about it, figure out what your purpose is so that you'll be ready for cohort number 3. Now, in this process of making change in our lives, I found that it's very important and helpful for me to utilize affirmations. I utilize affirmations in the form of I have some affirmation cards that I share with my clients that are part of the Self Unlocked Expansion program that I teach. And we utilize these little cards that have affirmations written on them, whether they deal with the mind, with the body, with our circumstances, things that are very positive, upbeat, and not falsely positive, maybe even more neutral, so that when things aren't going the way we are, or the way we think they should, or the way we wanted it to, we still have a support system in some of these statements that we make. I also like to use scriptures, verses out of the Bible that support me. And I want to share with you about this affirmation chain. This is an activity it's fun to do. And and it's a way of building some collective resilience. And so I have a post in our Facebook group, Essentials for Peace and Balance, on this collective resilience. And you might want to go there and visit it. The link is going to be in the portal, so you can go there And let's share some things that are going to support and uplift each other. We're going to give ourselves grace and we're going to support those who are doing the same in their life. And this verse is one that comes to mind for me in 2 Corinthians 12:9. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness so that Christ's power may rest in me. So I'm not talking about settling for less and saying, well, that's not one of my strengths. What I'm talking about is just giving yourself grace so that when you find that you're in a situation where your strength being, um, is not first and foremost in it, that you can be okay with it. You can rest in it knowing that you'll get through it. It'll work. So, a positive affirmation change would be for us to begin simply identifying some positive affirmations that you can use. I have some, in fact, I've got affirmations and verses in different parts of my structure of being a coach. I have some that I say when I get ready to get on a call with someone. I have some things that I like to revisit after I've had a coaching session. So start identifying some positive affirmations or quotes or Bible verses, even pictures that can be uplifting to you. And here's an example. I am capable of handling anything that comes my way. And this will be able to say things out loud and help you to just choose and collect a chain of affirmations or quotes or positive sayings or pictures. And I talk about, and I've shared in my group, how to make these self-compassion boxes where you utilize some of these tools and they're actually in a box so you have them handy. Think about making yourself a self-compassion box. And then you're going to add these things into the box. And as you utilize them, you may come up with another one. You're going to add another related affirmation. If we were doing this as a group, we would tap into what someone else has said, their affirmation. When you read one on social media, then take it a step further and personalize it for you. And this is going to help reinforce your resilience. And keep it going, keep the flow going. As you come up with your own affirmations, as you build your own self compassion box, as you read something or you hear something that is uplifting to you, hang on to it. Collect them, use them, and then even share them so that we can get this chain going on and on. And like I said, there is a post in our group, and I'll share the link with you in the portal where you can reflect on things that other people are saying and share your own, and we can support each other on this path to clarity. All right, let's finish up with our session today. Oops, I didn't mean to stop sharing. Let's finish it up just a little bit. And we're going to move on to the next page. Let me click over here. There we go. So we're going to move on to the portion of this session where we talk about what happens when it's not working. When everything you've put into place, you've identified those triggers, you've sorted out what needs to be done for yourself, you think, you've written it all out. What happens when it's still not working? Or you're still uncertain, or you need a little bit of guidance or direction? That's where seeking support can really help you. And it can be a very powerful and meaningful step towards enhancing that resilience that you're looking for and helping you to achieve those personal goals that have just been elusive to you for whatever reason. And so, some of the support that we have available that I've mentioned before is the Essentials for Peace and Balance Facebook community. This is a community I started several years back when I was going through my tough time of not knowing what to do and being so disillusioned and feeling just lost and broken, really. So it's a really supportive community. We have spotlight sessions in there. There's opportunities for us to share back and forth and get support from our peers. And then I offer sessions like these where you can get some expert guidance on mindfulness and taking care of yourself. And if you're not already a member, would like for you to consider it. And in there, like I said, is a post. It's called the Virtual Resilience Wall. And I'd like for you to go in there in the group and just start adding some of your thoughts about what we talked about in today's cohort, some of the action that you put in place, and share something that supported you and that will help support other people. Another option for getting support and for, working with people that are on the same path that you're on is through the Mind Moments membership program. It's a membership community. We get together on a weekly basis, and there's always exclusive content in there, some tools that I share for you to utilize. And we utilize the tools together. We actually put them into practice. We don't just talk about them, we use them. And so this is something, if you're interested, there's information in the portal for you to check out the Mind Moments membership. And then finally, I want to share with you about the self-expansion experience. This clarity cohort has been an opportunity to really kind of dig in a little deeper and sort of figure out what it is that you might be really good at. And it might be affirming, yeah, I'm on the right track, but I still feel like I want to go deeper. The self expansion experience is an opportunity for you to do that. It's a program that is very comprehensive and it's designed to help you build resilience and inner strength. And it does it through structured modules and then personalized support. The self expansion experience uses the curriculum that I used when I started making my shift from being that driven, overworked, um, follow the leader kind of person. And it left me feeling really depleted. And I utilized this program myself to get back on track, to figure out, to open up my mind to the possibilities instead of feeling like there's nothing I could do about it. This is my lot in life. That doesn't cut it anymore because this is not your lot in life. Even if your circumstances do not change dramatically and you feel like it needs to, you can still figure out a way to make this happen, for you to find that peace that you need to move through the day and through the coming months and years. And this program that I utilize, it has tailored strategies in there, tools and techniques like we've utilized here, only a little bit different in some respects, definitely more in depth than how we utilized it here today. And guided support because you can get one-on-one coaching sessions if you'd like to. It's an option in addition to the group workshops that we do throughout the program. There is a wait list, so you can find the link or you can type in that bit.ly link and get on the wait list. We are going to have a new cohort opening up soon. And if you're on the wait list, you'll be the first one to know. And I'll let you know when it's up, and how you can get signed up. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Go into the Facebook community. There is an area where you can add questions about today's session, whether it's about stress or the strategies that we've talked about to implement in order to effectively manage our stress. Otherwise, we are finished here. And now is your chance to put some of this to practice. If you're watching this and you plan on joining us for the third cohort live, then you have about a week to figure it out. But if you're watching the recording, then you can take as long as you need to go through some of the exercises we talked about today. Practice them, use them, ask questions, jump in the Facebook group, message me, whatever it might be, so that you can keep this momentum going. So, as we end, I want to say goodbye. I want to remind you that you are worth every single effort you put in place to get that self compassion to where it is second nature for you. It doesn't mean you're putting everybody else on the back burner. It means that you're putting yourself in a position to be able to be the best you that you can be for yourself and for those around you. So, thank you so much for listening, for following me this far, and we'll see you in cohort 3.